Are we good to go? Or Cody? In the back? We're good, Cody? Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am now calling the PIC meeting to order. It is Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. It is 2:09 p.m. Councilors, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting, October 4th?
I have, Madam Chair, and I move for approval of the minutes.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes from the last meeting have passed. Next is the agenda. Johnny, you want to come up?
Good afternoon. My name is Johnny Mickles. I serve as the land acquisition agent for PEP. I have a right-of-way encroachment license agreement between the City of Birmingham and Birmingham Landmarks, INC, regarding the proposed installation of one sidewalk extension with a covered drainage trench and 9 bollards for the purpose to protect the existing marquee from damage. The structures will be installed along the front of the building located at 1817 3rd Avenue North, as shown on the attached Exhibit A.
Okay, thank you. I guess it's the applicant here. Can you come up and, I guess, show us whatever you have?
You have.
We haven't? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm John Cosper, 2803 Carlisle Road, Birmingham, Alabama. I have some show and tell. This is actually a piece of the marquee after the third time it was hit, the last time in the first year that the $300,000 marquee was put up. Brant Bain, who's the director, offered this as something to show. So I brought it with me. I have large drawings and I have enlarged drawings. I'm assuming that you have all of that. We have coordinated this with traffic engineering. Of course, here's the marquee that we're talking about.
Upside down.
These are the new marquees that were put up a few years ago. It was hit 3 times during its first year.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Could you show it again?
It was upside down.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the Alabama marquee. Okay.
And you said that marquee was hit?
It was hit 3 times the first year it was put up.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What happens is the marquee extends out. It's a historic grandfathered right-of-way. It extends out, the new one extends out exactly the way the old original one did. But the crown of the road, there's a 6-inch curb and a gutter, and the crown of the road comes in. A lot of trucks, and they're typically trucks, the last few times it was hit, it was the trucks that were delivering construction products to the renovation that's going on across the street. It's been going on for a couple of years. And because of the crown of the road, when the truck pulls up there, it tilts it, and they've hit it. It's gotten hit 3 times. So what we've worked with traffic engineering is to come up with a plan to extend the sidewalk out 7.5 feet, as shown on the drawings, which I hope you have. And that 7.5 feet was the number that was given to us by James Fowler, is what he recommended that it come out to. As our sidewalk comes out and the crown of the road comes down, this will allow the edge of the new concrete and the edge of the existing pavement to be somewhat flush, so that what we'll have on the continuous distance protecting this marquee, it'll all be totally accessible for the handicapped people whose drivers drive them up there and let them out in front of it. The 9 bollards, traffic engineering did not want bollards anchored into asphalt, which is why we're doing the concrete extension. And the bollards would be this style bollard, which you ought to have in your packet as well. They are a removable type R bollard, so that if necessary they can be taken out when, for some reason that they need to be taken out. And then we have, it won't take up any parallel parking places. There's no parallel parking places in front of that right now. But if you'll look You should have this. This is probably larger than what you have. That's where all the stars are in the sidewalk. Here's the existing marquee that sits out there. That's the end of the existing parallel space, and here's the end of the other parallel space. We will slope the curb out until it's flush at 7.5 feet and slope it back. We will put continuously underneath here a drainage trench so that the water flow coming through the gutter here will continue on past it with a removable cover over where the drainage trench is. And then there's the 9 bollards that will go there to protect this. So these will be out far enough that nobody will hit the edge of the marquee again. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I understand that traffic engineering was okay with this. I won't speak for them, but they have been helping us determine how to best do this. So.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, JT?
Yeah, I was just gonna, and I just wanted to make sure that I was looking at it correctly. So pretty much the highlighted area with this piece, is that about how far the marquee comes out?
The marquee, no, the marquee actually
stops.
If you look at this heavy dash line right here, that's the marquee itself.
Okay.
But what we were going from is we didn't want to take up a parallel parking space, but we did not want to make it look like there was room for another car to kind of cram itself in there on either side. So that's why we sloped it back, much like you see if you're going down towards 18th Street, when you get to the corner, the curb slopes back there too. So it kind of matches what the curb's doing everywhere else along 3rd Avenue when it comes to the end of a passage, end of a path of parallel parking.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, and I was just trying to get a better understanding of what was happening. And then lastly, so is it the tall trucks that you say it's tall trucks that are doing some construction across the street that are? Well,
it's not just across the street, but the ones that have been hitting it have been lately. They have to be of a certain height. I don't know exactly how high the marquee is, but they are certainly lower than, say, an overpass would be, where a truck can go through an overpass that's probably got 13 feet 8 clear. Mm-hmm. It's not that clear, and the bigger part of the problem is they'll park as close as they can. A road crowns at the top and slopes back on each side. You may not realize that when you're driving down it, but it does. So that means when you're parking on the side, especially if you're a big truck with a wide wheelbase, your truck's parking like this. And that's what causes the damage in each case.
Gotcha.
They've currently been putting orange cones out there, but orange cones get run over all the time, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have to drive by there and look at it. Okay, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Councilor Abbott.
Yeah, I wanted to, we all know that in Birmingham, people just park anywhere they want, and so I'm sure that there are always people parked in front of the marquee, too. What are the bollards made out of?
They're steel. They're cast iron.
Okay, so when they try to run over them, they'll be hurt.
They will dent their car.
Well, good. On the sides of this, I get tired of illegal parking all over our city and no one doing anything about it. It's just a personal irritant, I'm sure. But the trucks get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Pretty soon they'll slop over the center line. So on the sides of this ramp, will there be, like for instance, if you were parked in the parallel parking place on either side and you backed up or went forward, would you crash into a curb? Will there be?
You would, your rear tire or your front tire would hit the curb before it got to a bollard.
Well, that's good.
So you don't want people backing into the bollard. The only reason, we originally only had 7 bollards across the front, and then between traffic engineering and Brant Bean at the Alabama Theater, and as you mentioned, people parking illegally, they said that would tempt somebody to drive behind the bollards and park if we didn't put a bollard at each end to do that. So, but there's several feet from the curb, the sloped curb to the bollard. In fact, we could even move that bollard on either side in a little bit further just to keep anybody from backing into the bollard itself.
Well, yeah, because they're probably expensive. And if someone runs over it, then you have to buy a new one.
A new bollard?
Yeah.
Well, I think that would be the responsibility of the Alabama to replace the bollard. The bollards, if there had to be some kind of maintenance that required a truck to back into there, maybe a small truck, they're removable. So because it is removable, it's also easy to replace it with a new one because it has a socket down in the concrete and the bollard sits and twists and locks in. So that if someone damaged it, you just unlock it, twist it, pull it out, and put a new one in.
But I know that Alabama Landmarks is Birmingham Landmarks is a not-for-profit, so they don't have money just sitting around waiting to replace bollards or marquees.
Well, the marquee is more expensive than the bollards. I think that's
Truly.
their thought on that.
Okay, well, that's all of my questions.
Okay, thank you. JT, Council Moore, did you have any more questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so when you extend it, I'm trying to visualize it. Where is it going again? You're extending it, right?
I'm sorry, what?
What you're doing is extending it, the marquee.
No, the marquee is staying like it is. There's no changes in the marquee.
So you're
but it's already out where it will get hit.
Yes. Okay. And so you're requesting a sidewalk extension. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so you'll make the road more narrow. So they,
right.
Okay.
And it's not taking up an existing dedicated parking place.
Okay,
Actually,
gotcha.
what it will do will be, it will help, the bollards will help protect patrons standing out on the street before an event opens as well.
Yes. So. Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Has there been a motion and a second?
I move approval.
I second that.
All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item.
I have a memorandum of understanding between the City of Birmingham and Flock Group, Inc., doing business as Flock Safety on behalf of Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, regarding the proposed installation of two 12-foot Flock poles with license plate reading cameras and solar panels for the purpose of public safety. The structures will be installed along the westbound and eastbound of East Lake Boulevard as shown and attached on Exhibit A. Is there anyone here to represent Flock?
Hi, y'all. I'm Laura Ann Holland. It's great to be back in Birmingham. Spent most of my early 20s here, so happy to be back. I'm here representing Flock Safety, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about the installation of those two poles out in Eastlake.
Yes, Council Moore.
Yeah, so I got a couple of questions. I guess first, well, let me look at the exhibit. Because East Lake Boulevard, just so I'm correct, is on the backside of the airport?
Yes, that's where these two locations are.
And so this would, I'm assuming, help with any type of speeding and,
Yeah, so I'll just give an overview of what Flock Safety does. I wasn't sure how familiar you guys were with our company. So we are a company whose mission it is to eliminate crime. And we think it takes all of us working together to do that, right? Businesses, neighborhoods, city governments. And we developed technology that uses images of cars, the back of a vehicle, and machine learning technology to provide law enforcement with specific data that they need to investigate crimes. So the way our system works is twofold. It's proactive in that it will provide real-time alerts if there's an Amber Alert or a missing person or a NCIC alert for a felony vehicle or a stolen vehicle. But it also provides investigative data. And that's data of all the images that pass in front of those devices within a 30-day period. And then after that 30-day period, the data is no longer accessible. So we're currently already in a partnership with the Birmingham Police Department and with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office for several of our devices throughout the city. We've also got other customers that are neighborhoods or private entities. And previously, most of our devices were installed on a pole, like an Alabama Power pole that was already maintained by Alabama Power, but these two specific locations need to be independent installs, and that's what the right-of-way agreement is. You might have seen some recent stories of crimes in the Birmingham area that were actually able to be solved using the data that was provided from these devices.
Gotcha. And so this new technology would interface with the real-time crime center?
Exactly.
Got you. Okay. I'll pass it back to you, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Councilor Abbott.
Okay, we have some photographs.
Yes.
Is the ones we're getting, is it the one in the middle, the solar and flock pole?
That's right, the 12-foot solar and flock pole.
Okay. The solar panels power the camera, right?
They do.
And there's no light or anything attached to it. It's just a pole.
It's just a pole with
in the neighborhood.
There's some lights at the front for the camera itself, but it's not anything that impacts the surrounding area.
Okay, and it can catch a picture of you if you're going up to 100 miles an hour, but I guess if you exceed 100 miles an hour, that's too fast for the camera to catch you.
Reliably and consistently, yes. That we will provide an image of the back of the car, right? So the best image that we get.
Well, hopefully our thieves and murderers won't drive that fast, but that's interesting. I never thought about it. Okay, that's all my questions. I just wanted to know what it was going to look like.
Yeah, Councilor Moore.
Yeah, so the only other question I had was picture quality as far as nighttime.
Yes.
Because I know that, on that back road, especially at night, there's a lot of,
really dark.
Yeah, it's a lot of activity, and just trying to make sure that, this camera would actually be able to capture that.
Yes, yeah. So on our website, we've got some examples of what the images look like at night. So we've got an infrared reading light that can read that plate as well, and so we get the picture, but then we'll also be able to get plate details from the infrared device.
And it's pictures and not video.
That's right. Yep. So these devices, the license plate reader devices, are just still images that are uploaded to your cloud server that we host for you.
Got you. And so someone would review, like, is it just one picture that's taken, or is it multiple pictures that,
Yeah, great question. So let's say you've got a car going by, and it'll take a series of images, and then our algorithm actually decides which one is the best quality and uploads that image as the image associated with the vehicle. And so then that picture is logged in the server based on all of its characteristics, right? So let's say you had an eyewitness account that said it was a white Ford pickup, but that's the only details that you got. Your investigators would be able to go into the system and search the time period when the incident happened and all of the white pickups that were associated with that. Say it actually wasn't a Ford, say it was a Chevy, they could then further their investigation and be able to get down to the exact detail of what car was possibly associated. It's a really important piece of investigative data, but it's not the only tool that is in the tool belt of your police officers.
Gotcha. And last question, and really asking these questions because I know, at times, we could have a picture of a car or a tag, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it will identify the actual person
individual,
that
right?
that was involved in whatever crime, because that car could be owned by Miss Barbara, but it was driven by Taquan or whoever,
Absolutely.
So yeah, just trying to figure out.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of protections that we've built into our system that make us really unique in this space. First off, every time your officers conduct a search in our system, it requires an investigative reason. So that means they can't just go in there and type whatever they want or whatever a search is. It has to be specific to a case. Then that is actually proactively reported to the system administrators so that they can see every single search that's logged and every single reason why the search was logged. So that means we can't prevent misuse in every circumstance, but we can develop controls so that we can act immediately if there is misuse. And that's why we developed that kind of audit portal. We also don't connect to those third-party databases. All of that is done from your law enforcement partners outside of our system. We think that's an additional privacy protection, right? But like I said, this is only one tool that they have. It's a really helpful tool that they need, but they'll have to go into the law enforcement database or the DMV database to identify the individuals associated with whatever car registration or license plate registration.
Gotcha. That's all I got, Madam Chair.
I'm good with it.
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Next item.
I have a right-of-way encroachment license agreement, between the City of Birmingham and HUB Community Development Corporation, INC, regarding the proposed installation of 6 outward swinging doors, 1 blade sign, and for the purpose of offering worthwhile opportunities for advancement, achievement, and success for people of all ages, ethnicities, and nationalities. The structures will be installed along the exterior of the building located at 1709 First Avenue North, as shown on the attached Exhibit A. Is anyone
Is the
here?
applicant present?
Hey, good afternoon. Fred Smith. You guys need my address, right?
Yeah.
1001 22nd Street South. That's Birmingham, 35205.
Yeah. Who are you with?
Show Engineering.
Committee members, do you have any questions?
I guess tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so this project location is at the, for those of us been around a while, at the old Park West location. I think it was also at some point Smitty City, 1709 First Avenue North, directly across from the police station. And so what we're doing is there is an existing building there today that was formerly Park West or Smitty City, and there's a parking lot just to the east of that. And so we are going to redevelop the existing building and then do an additional building where that parking lot exists today. And we're going to have, it's going to be a mixed-use facility. There will be CrossFit, Peloton, and Kill Me Crazy inside on the lower floors, and then we're going to go up with some residential, 4 or 5 floors of residential above that.
So you say it's a Peloton, CrossFit.
And a Kill Me Crazy. I think we got one in Homewood, I think.
It's like a smoothie.
Like a juice smoothie kind of place.
Yeah, it's really good. And we do have one at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the doors that we're showing on First Avenue, those doors are outward swinging doors, and then there's one outward swinging door on 17th Street that exits the building onto 17th.
Councilor Abbott.
So the outward swinging doors, isn't that required by the code so that people can escape in case of fire?
I'll let the architect speak to that.
Hello, I'm Derek Needham with Williams Blackstock Architects, 2204 First Avenue North. Yes, the outward swinging doors are a requirement per code. And the reason we are locating those doors on the property line is because the existing buildings, we're going after historical tax credits. And a part of that program, we're going to have to recreate the storefront as it was originally built. And when it was originally built, this glass and doors were right on the property line, outward swinging, which goes over the property line. The new addition, we're aligning the front of that building with the existing buildings as well, so that puts our doors right on the property line as well, so that's why they're outward swinging over the property line. So that's why we're here today.
So what will, if there are pedestrians walking up and down the sidewalk, and I know your door isn't covering the entire sidewalk, but what will stop the door from hitting a pedestrian who's walking down the sidewalk if someone just flings it open?
Hopefully, no one will fling the door open. It will be glass with a metal frame around it.
So they'll see 'em coming.
Someone exiting the building can see pedestrians walking towards them first, and hopefully not have that occur.
The glass would help.
And the glass, yeah, so it's high visibility. It's not a solid door at all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Council.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
And it's only a
what'd you
foot
say?
or two past the property line than a normal condition. So.
Gotcha.
Okay, Council Moore.
Nah, look, I've seen this building become many different things in my time here on this earth.
Trap or?
Right. Club 1709, like I remember that one. But cool. Nah, I think that would be great. You had me at Kill Me Crazy. So,
Okay.
You had me a pillows on.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's a really great project for the community.
Gotcha.
Because it's encompassing everything to try to bring that stuff downtown.
and so you said the Peloton and Kill Me Crazy would be on the bottom, and then there would be residential.
Correct. So on the ground floor, we'll have actually a CrossFit style studio as well. Then a Peloton next to that. A coffee shop that's associated. It'll be open business days, but it's also associated with a worship center that will be inside the space. At the end of the building, there'll be a Kill Me Crazy. On the second floor, we'll have additional parking on the addition. And then in the existing building, we'll have a Einstein's daycare and a after-school program and summer school program. Level 3 of the existing building, that's when the multifamily starts. We'll have units there, and that'll feed into the third floor of the addition. And then 3, 4, and 5 of the addition will be multifamily units.
So would the new development take place on the parking lot of
Correct.
1709?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No further questions?
Okay, I'm good.
That created another question for me.
It's okay.
Okay,
That's fine.
on page 2, you have a picture of this north elevation.
Yes.
So how much of that is new and how much of it exists right now?
So the elevation you see, all of that is new.
This is the new building that you're building in the parking lot,
That is correct.
but you're renovating the building next door.
To the left, correct. If you go to page, what would be 5, it's not numbered, but in this rendering, you can see the new 5-story addition next to the 3-story renovation of the existing structures.
Okay, and since you're doing away with the parking lot, where are people going to park?
So right behind the Peloton and CrossFit at the corner here, there's parking inside the building. And then there's a second level parking that you enter off of Morris Avenue and ramp up.
Okay, so you have plenty of parking, indoor parking.
Correct.
Well, that'll make people happy. Okay, that was my only other question.
Okay.
Thank you. I move approval.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next item.
No more park ways.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Glow, and I serve as the subdivision planner for the city of Birmingham. And item number 4, which is case SUB 2022 case 68, a request for approval of a final plat resurveying acreage into 25 lots and the dedication of Sydney Drive, Sydney Pass, and Sydney Park, called the Grand of Oxmoor Phase 2. Do have a representative here from Tower Development.
I feel like I've seen you before. You've been here before.
I was here, Bobby Reese with Tower Development, address 2106 Devereaux Circle, Vestavia, Alabama 35209, or 35243, sorry. I was here for phase 1 to do the right of way with y'all. So that was about, I think it was in August we were being Roger, we're here, and Joel, and here to answer any questions y'all may have on this phase 2 right away.
So this is the same project
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the total development is 102 lots. The first phase that we were back here in August was 25. This phase 2 is 25. We'll have a phase 3 that's the remaining 52.
And what's being done in phase 2? The same thing?
Yes, ma'am, just lots, single family housing.
Council Abbott?
What did you say the names of the streets are?
Sydney Park, Sydney Drive, and
Sydney Grand.
Sydney Pass.
Pass?
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
we'll meet you at the pass?
No, like pass the ball.
Past the football.
Well, that's kind of like we'll meet you at the pass. You didn't watch cowboy movies when you were little. No. Your mother did. Okay, so, yeah, well, this looks good. I mean, I remember the first one, and this is just the completion. So I'm good.
So have y'all already started development?
We have phase 1
Phase
is under
one is
construction. We should have the model up by the end of the year, and we have 3 other lots. We have 4 lots under construction currently.
Gotcha.
So we'll be ready to showcase off to the city and everybody here in a couple more months to show the product off.
When will you be done with phase 2? Or what's it anticipated?
For with housing completion?
Yeah,
With the market right now, it's hard to tell.
that's fair. Yeah, I know it's
Yeah, the
bad.
interest rates.
Hopefully in 6 months, that would be great.
Gotcha. Okay.
Optimistic.
Glass half full.
Yes, Council Abbott.
Okay, so you have already constructed the roadways?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are they built to City of Birmingham standards? And does someone go out there and check to make sure the asphalt's not 2 inches thick? Or
Jerome Johnson with the city is our inspector from the city side. He and I coordinate. He's been out there for our proof roll and binder pours and things of that nature. And then we have a third-party compaction team that we provide reports to the city staff. So they have for their records, like Mike Eddington and Jerome as well. So they're in the loop on all that.
good. We have sinkholes periodically and a lot of potholes, and I just want to make sure we don't get any new ones anytime soon.
Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
agree.
But I realize Tower does a quality development, but still, you have to ask.
Yes, ma'am. As
Thank
you said,
you.
we do not want that reflected on us either. So we're right there with you.
Now, this probably isn't a question for you, maybe you, I don't know, or this might be the wrong committee, but just thinking about, permeable surfaces, does the city require that we, have certain permeable surfaces put in place, like on driveways and things of that?
If you have too much parking, if you have more parking than is required by the ordinance, then you have to install that parking as permeable surface of some sort. But roadways, we don't require pervious surfaces. Pervious. Impervious is what we've got now.
Got you. Pervious. New
There we
terms.
are,
There we go.
pervious, yes.
Well, I move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. Thank
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Next PIC meeting will be Tuesday, December 6, 2022. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor